like I'm seeing with new eyes, even in the dark. Let's go get lost. Just take my hand, ignore the cost, forget the plan. I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night and stay in the streets while we feel? Can we turn back the night and stay in the streets while we feel? Can we turn back the night? Feels like I'm caught up in a trance. Can't come down all night. The city never stood a chance. With you by my side, it's all ours. So don't second guess. Let down your guard. Just take a chance. I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night and stay in the streets while we feel? Can we turn back the night and stay in the streets while we feel? Can we turn back the night? Same old places come alive. Wherever we are, feels like I'm seeing with new eyes, even in the dark. Let's go get lost. Just take my hand, ignore the cost, forget the plan. I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night and stay in the street?
Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys are well. Welcome to another Team Health Ultimate Champion stream. And as you can see, as always, joined by the lovely SpeedyQ. How are you doing, buddy?
Very, very well, Nim. Thank you very much for the introduction as usual. Hello to all our listeners and viewers. Sorry we're a tad bit late, as you know. Big hype going on around Unagi with the Persona minting and the public auction that's currently running. But yeah, we're here to focus on Ultimate Champions and Ultimate Champions Football Gameweek 152.
Yeah. So, Bossan, where are the hosts? We are here. We apologize we're a few seconds late, but we're absolutely here. And with that, I think it'd be really cool to touch upon our silver pack winners for Game Week 150. What do you think, Speedy? Let's give them a shout out.
I think that is a great idea. So we had two competitions for Game Week 150. The first competition was who will be the top performing goalkeeper for Game Week 150. If you guys saw the thumb for our podcast, Stefan Tarnavano with 198 points. And Heretics is the manager who has scooped that silver pack. When I was going through all of the listings of the goalkeepers, I was actually quite surprised that he was the only one to put that specific keeper down. We will discuss a bit more about that keeper in the podcast. So that was our first winner. And then second winner was who will be the top performing forward for Game Week 152. Now, funny enough, I play Ultimate Champions. I'm obviously around Discord, etc. I never knew about this forward until I had a look at him and I went through the stats. Tigran Barshagan with 319 points.
Wow, that's
Um,
insane.
he didn't even score a goal. I think he had 1 or 2 assists, and he scored 319 base UC score. Amazing score. We had a tie, guys. We had a tie with JRPX, Sabinst, and Invincible.
No.
And because I'm such a nice guy, we're not going to do a random draw. I'm going to give each of you a silver pack for that prediction. That was one
Oh,
massive, massive score. And congratulations to you three.
congratulations, my word. This just kind of reminds me of having like Leno last week where he played and got 0 points. So this guy played, didn't score any goals, but he got 300 plus points. Leno, on the other hand, 0 points.
That's one player. And imagine you had his epic, mythic, or unique with that extra percentage, and you captained him on top of that. That would be a massive start to your team for whatever game week you play him in. So yeah, someone. I actually straight after I saw that, and I went through the list. I went to the marketplace. And I went to the cars to see is there anything hidden, perhaps, but nothing out, unfortunately.
So get in touch with Speedy if you've got one to sell. He's on the lookout. Okay, guys. Well, don't forget to get your questions in because we always do a bit of a Q&A at the end of the stream. So, we'll do a bit more of that as we always do. And to be honest with you guys, we're not going to touch upon either of our teams this week because the last couple of game weeks for myself and Speedy have not been good. You don't need to see that. You just don't need to see that. So yeah, we'll move on swiftly, I think, and talk about, I don't know, maybe giving somebody another chance at a silver pack. Hey, let's do it.
That's correct. We've got another competition for this week, changing it up a little bit. So listen very, very carefully. Our question for Game Week 152, which UC team will be involved in the match with the most goals in it? So it's not just that UC team scoring, it's in that specific match, 5-3 or 2-1 or whatever it may be. So you can just put the UC team down for this game week in the thread. And whoever gets it obviously will win a nice shiny silver pack. Remember, follow all the T's and C's, like, subscribe, and those goodies. And remember, it must be an existing licensed UC team. It can be one of the old teams or within the leagues that we haven't said we are ending yet. So put that team down, and whoever's got the team with the most goals in that match that they partake in will win a shiny silver pack.
Yeah. If there's a lot of winners, I'm assuming you'll do a bit of a kind of randomizer on that one. Just because there might be a lot of the same teams coming in. Just guessing there.
We will do a spin with all the Arsenal
Ooh,
predictions. Most
spin a
definitely.
wheel. Ooh, love it. Welcome, Diogo, to the Nympha. Welcome. Is that Diego Jota now that he's he's on the sidelines? Cool. All right then. Well, before we move on to game week 152, we always like to recap on our last stream's tips and tricks that help you guys out. And so we will just touch upon on how our players got on in game week 150, right, Speed?
That's correct. Thanks very much, Tim. So thank you. Shout out to Stickit last week for mentioning that B-Bar's Nut Show was suspended and did not play. So thank you for that, and saving all of our viewers from selecting someone that I put up on the screen. Partizan did win 5-2 against IMT last game week. So potentially, if he did play, he would have scored some great points. But he's got a couple of nice games coming up in the recent future. So don't forget to keep having a look at him and putting him in. Then we selected Peter Kovacic. Once again, nothing special. 90 minutes played, 96 points. Was in a boring 0-0 draw. I was really following this game because I him the week before, but obviously with no goal or assist involvement, the score wasn't too great. And then the Fleetwood manager decided to bench Jaden Stockley against Barnsley, who's in the top 4 or 5. So he unfortunately came on for a little 27-minute cameo, got a 63 points, which I think for 27 minutes is decent. But yeah, those 3 athletes, once again, nothing to write home about, unfortunately, Nim and viewers.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But did our teams fare any better?
The teams potentially did. We had a much better reflection in that regard. As I mentioned, Partizan gave a nice little hiding to IMT 5-2. We touched on Partizan last week, actually. They delivered a great performance on the game week. And they are the only team basically keeping the reigning champion Savannah Vesda at bay. Partizan is still top of the log by 1 point, so it will be exciting to see if they can maintain the pressure on Savannah Vesda for the rest of the season. I don't know if you can remember last week I mentioned that last season Savannah Vesda won the league by 20 points. So it's nice to at least have a 2-horse race going on at this stage in the season. Our next game was Kosas versus Podbrezova. As I mentioned earlier, boring 0-0 draw. Nothing too much to write home about. So yeah, there's a bit of a logjam. They are currently just outside of the top 6, but like I say, there's a logjam going on. So they are Podbrezova are only about 3 points off 3rd place. So quite an exciting fight for the league, and the top places going on there. And then last but not least, Fleetwood, obviously. Not a bad result. It was a loss, but a 2-1 defeat to Barnsley, who, as I mentioned, is in the top 5 at the moment, is decent. And Fleetwood's upcoming matches against Exeter and Port Vale are potential nice fixtures. And that is potentially why the manager rested up Stockley to rest him up for these 2 enticing ties coming up in the near future.
Yeah. Potentially on that one, I think. It's been it was an interesting week, but not many big goals apart from that original game, that 5-2.
No, exactly. It wasn't, like I say, the selections haven't been the greatest at the moment. I mean, we could come on here every week and just select players from your Leverkusens, your Arsenals, your FCSB. It's nice to look around at other players. Even if they don't perform and score well, it's not going to happen every game week. At least our viewers get some knowledge about certain players that potentially they weren't aware of, which is great.
Agreed. Which coincidentally happened to be most of the teams that you just mentioned there that happened to be making their way into the chat this week. So, has missed why people are guessing. So, do you want to go over just quickly what the silver pack was again?
Most definitely. So what our listeners need to do is they need to post the UC team which will be involved in the match with the most goals in game week 152. So if you select, for argument's sake, if you select Charlton and they play against whoever they're playing and the score is 5-2, that's a 7-goal combined total, if you understand where I'm coming from. And it needs to be a current UC affiliated team that you mention. And you don't have to mention that team versus whoever, just mention that UC team. Once game week 152 is over, I'll be able to go through those fixtures and see what was that highest scoring game.
Yeah. I'm assuming that the people who are putting Arsenal are also assuming that Newcastle are going to score a few goals.
Yeah, look,
because
Newcastle.
I'm not sure Arsenal are going to put 5 past Newcastle, if I'm honest.
Look, obviously we're reeling a bit from last night's very late defeat. But like I said, it's a different league. We played away from home. We had to travel. Against Newcastle, we're playing at home, if I'm not mistaken. I'm still quietly confident that we'll perform well. Newcastle is, even though they score goals, they concede a lot. So I think it could be quite a decent selection by our champs to go for that specific game. Something like a 3-2, a 4-3, obviously in Arsenal's favour. Looking good.
Here's hoping. Absolutely. Okay then. Well, before we, I think it's a good idea then to move on and talk about our up and coming game week 152. So, Speedy, who are the best players?
Remember, guys,
We've got teams first, actually.
yes. But remember, guys, you've got your Leverkusens, you've got your Arsenals, you've got your FCSB, and a couple of others in the Serbian and Slovakian that you can go for. But the three selections for this weekend, CFR Cluj in the Romanian Superliga. You can see their stats on the board. They're currently third in the Superliga. They have 3 wins out of their last 4 matches. They've been a bit inconsistent this season, but looks like they're starting to click near the end of the season. They've got 9 goals across these matches, and they're keeping their hopes alive to still challenge potentially FCSB for the Superliga title. Remember what happens after the league phase? They branch off into a championship and a relegation zone. So no matter if you end first, second, or third, you still got to play that championship zone to get league points, and then obviously your Romanian season champion is then crowned after that. The likes of Carla Merher, the old man, Cyprian Deek, Philip Otele and Daniel Berligi have been contributing massively and scoring well on UC. So any of these will be great options for game week 152. And remember, they are playing at home against second last place Dinamo Bucharesti. Their last outing, I think it was a 1-1 draw, but with CFR's current form.
I think we've lost Speedy there a little bit. Are you back?
3 or 4.
But we lost you there for a second.
Oh, apologies.
That's okay.
I am.
Yeah, you're back now.
No worries. I just wanted to reiterate on Cyprian Deek. He's like 36, 37 years old. He did have a op during the off season before the season started. I think he's getting back to his best. And the last 3 or 4 games, he's had some massive green scores in Ultimate Champions as well, which is fantastic. Next one I'm going to bounce onto is Tranmere. They're obviously in the English League 2. They've slowly started to creep away from the relegation zone. They currently are 17th in League 2. They come off a great victory, actually, 4-0 against league leaders Stockport. That'll give them a lot of confidence going into game week 152. They play away to another relegation threat team, Forest Green. And the 2 players that I like very, very much, it's not just them, but because of their defensive and offensive capabilities, Jordan Turnbull and Tom Davies. They're the heart of Tranmere's defense. And Turnbull scored 2 last week, and Davies scored 1. So nice to have those central defenders that score well in UC, even if they concede. But if they add those attacking contributions, it makes it even more beneficial. So 2 players to potentially have in your lineups for this game week. And last but not least, Queen's Park Rangers, 3 wins, 2 draws in their last 6 matches. They are 1 or 2 away from moving out of the relegation zone. I think they're only 2 points behind the team that's just above them. They play at home to the bottom of the table, Rotherham. So I'm confident they can get the 3 points there. The one guy who stands out in that team, and if he performs, I think they do well, is Elias Jehl. He's basically been their standout performer. And then Lyndon Dykes, who's had not too many minutes of late, could also be a differential for anyone selecting him for this upcoming game week.
Yeah, that's a great shout actually, and we've got a couple of latecomers coming in, asking what are we guessing? seems a common question. It's for the silver pack, Roro, and you have to choose the team you think in which the game will get the most goals.
That is correct. The UC team that's involved in the match for game week 152, where the most goals are involved.
Yeah. So we have given you guys plenty of opportunities there for answering for the silverback. So any more latecomers now, they're gonna have to rewind the stream. So let's talk about our best players potentially then. The tips for the best players for Game Week 152, Speedy.
There are many, as you know, but let's start off with them. So I'm going to start off with Stefan Tarnavano. For Heretics Silver Pack victory. 23-year-old shot stopper for Tabletoppers FCSB. He's in peak form. He's kept 4 clean sheets in his last 5 matches. He averages 2.5 saves per game. Has saved 2 penalties, including a penalty save last week, unfortunately against one of my players, Dan Nistor. So it was a bittersweet moment in that specific game. And also his ball recoveries are quite good. He averages over 7 per game, which is exceptional. His last 2 UC scores have been 210 and 198 points, respectively. He's obviously eligible for the Under-23 tournament and the Romanian national tournament. And we all know that a keeper can make or break your performance in a specific tournament. So someone that's this consistent and having a very nice fixture coming up this game week, I think he's a must to put in one or two of your strongest lineups. Then I'm going to jump to Amin Adli, the Moroccan player for Bayer Leverkusen. He's come back into the team with a bang. His last 2 outings were 138 and 208 UC points, respectively. He's, as you can see by his stats, he's only got 2 goals and 2 assists from 13. But remember, he's only started 4 times this campaign. So it might be a risk due to rotation and him potentially not starting, but use the sub trick to have him as one of your highest scoring forwards to come on for your team this game week. He could be a nice differential as well. They play Mainz this game week, so enticing fixture as is every fixture for Leverkusen each game week. And then last but not least, the young sensation, Lamine Yamal.
That's one team
really...
I haven't seen yet, actually, in the chat, which I'm shocked at.
Yeah, and that's quite a good one to potentially have, is because they, of late, they seem to be coming right, but they are still conceding. So those 3 or 4 goals that they score and 2 or 3 they may concede could be a good contender. He's an amazing scorer on UC. His last 5 average confirms this. He has started all 6 of Barcelona's last La Liga matches and contributed with 2 goals and 2 assists. He has utility for days, and you can have him in under 23 for the next 7 or 8 years if you want, and he stays within a covered club. Barcelona, as I mentioned, is also unbeaten in their last 4 La Liga fixtures, and they have an enticing home fixture against Getafe in game week 152. So I see another massive Lamal score. It hurts a bit that I was fortunate to own his mythic at a time, and I have sold him.
Oh no. Oh no, I bet that person is really happy about that. I've only got his common, but I'm very happy to own it anyway, that's for sure.
Right, he's really a great scorer. I've watched him, obviously when I owned him, I was watching him, etc. He wasn't playing as regularly as he has done the last 6 weeks. Even if he doesn't score or assist, his UC stats, possessive, defensive and attacking, etc. are unreal. So he has some massive green scores in Ultimate Champions.
Completely
which is
agree.
great.
Yeah, he's done good for me, definitely. So just to let the community know that I did purchase a gold pack, and I can't remember who was in it. Who was in it, Speedy?
I'll tell you. So just before the stream started,
Yep.
Nim purchased a gold winter pack for 10,000 MGC. Quite impressed actually with what came out there. It was an epic LB Morgan. He's having a
Markovic. I
decent,
remembered the second one.
yes, he's having a decent season. And then Markovic, the mythic
A mythic.
Markovic, which is a fantastic player as well, defensive player who scores very, very well. So I think from a gold pack with that 10,000 MGC, 2 great win-win returns.
Yeah, I've been saving for ages to get up past that 10, just to kind of try and add some more players to the team. So yeah, and today as well, we traded in a few of the players, and we burnt a few of my players. So be good to get some of the rewards back for those as well, and see where I am, and see if I can add to my collection that way as well. So that's good.
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, just to bounce on that, Nim, obviously, if the guys that aren't aware, tomorrow we will release the first phase of the summer buyback. So potentially how it's going to work, and don't keep me to timelines, but potentially how it'll work is we'll have a cutoff, and at that cutoff we will then, up until that, let's say for instance, and this is just an example, the cutoff is 12 o'clock tonight. Then tomorrow, anyone who had burned and boosted those ineligible cards will then get their 70% UNA, 30% MGC tomorrow. And then obviously we'll have another phase that will be released the following week, etc. But we will release an announcement and communication about times, dates, and how it will progress going forward after tomorrow's first release.
Definitely. Okay, I think I said, question to myself and Speedy, can we burn the cards for the league whenever before their season begins, and payout is on the nearest Tuesday or Friday?
That is correct. That is correct. You can each league has a start date, which is in that announcement. So you can burn and boost all of them, or you can hold them and wait until they potentially transfer to a team that is going to be covered. So yes, you've got up until the start or the kickoff of each of those leagues to burn and boost. The Tuesday, Friday, I'm going to confirm yes for the Friday. I just want to get clarity on, are we going to have 2 days refunds per week? But as I say, that should come out in some form of communication.
Yeah, completely agree. We've had some big guesses. What have we got here? Let me see. We've got Bayer Leverkusen, Trenchen from Kai, FCSB, Cluj, Arsenal, Tranmere. Quite a lot of the big guns. Petersburg was an out there shout. We've had Partizan, another Plymouth, Bristol Rovers, a Doncaster Rovers, quite a few FCSBs. And I was going to chuck out, what would I go for if I was going to guess one? Between two. Between Sunderland and Blackpool, I think I'll go Blackpool. If I was in it, that's probably what I'd. That's
Yeah,
probably what I'd do.
that's a decent shot as well. I was also thinking of, and this is, I don't know if there's anyone that's listed, and this is just going on their 4-0 victory last week. I know they don't score that many goals, but maybe a little punt on Tranmere against Forest this weekend could be another little one. Maybe they have the same performance as last week and let Forest score some goals too. Could be a high scoring game.
Thinker says, question Speedy, what's happening to McIntyre? Do we know?
McIntyre, I heard a rumor that he broke his leg or his foot. I don't know what truth there is to it, but I saw a rumor somewhere in Discord, and he hasn't been playing, so I haven't done any further research on him. I own his Mythic, and I also own his Genesis Epic, and I was very excited when he did start playing again, but now that he's gone again, it's 2 cards that I can't use, which is unfortunate.
I agree. Nazarat says, third of Winter League season left roughly. Would you buy good players now for a high price, or wait until the season ends to buy cheaper?
That all depends on your method and your plan. The marketplace or the marketplace for the football and for the basketball obviously ebbs and flows. It's all dependent on what game weeks are coming up, what's happening in the midweek, what teams are potentially going on a break. So a good time to buy is potentially at the break of the season. So let's say, for argument's sake, that 1 month to 2 month break for the winter leagues, if we can talk about them, because then potentially you can pick up some bargains. But like I say, if you want to start earning your MGC, start earning UNA, sometimes you need to pay that little bit extra to get those players into your team, depending on which division, which tournament, etc. you want to enter into. But like I say, the marketplace is like a stock exchange as well. It goes up and down depending on demand and things like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is a tough one. It's very team dependent, isn't it, really? And what you're trying to achieve. Are you in a rush to start like potentially competing now, or do you want to look a bit to the future? I think maybe sometimes having a bit of a balance works quite nicely. So maybe doing a bit of both if you can afford to do that. Getting one or two or a couple of players you think are like ultimately going to give you maybe an immediate reward, but also maybe looking to a few like keeping a few until the end of the season when you think they could probably wait. They could probably wait.
100%, 100%. I think it's important as well for people that use the marketplace. Don't be scared to reach out to those managers that are listing those potential cards, because potentially sometimes you can have a conversation with them, and potentially you could come to an agreement of a little lesser price or whatever it may be. Obviously, not all managers are like that. Not all managers want to chat regarding a athlete or whatever it may be via DM, etc. But I've done it in my career with Ultimate Champions, even in the early days, etc. Communication, building relationships,
Yeah.
chatting to them, and bartering or speaking about certain pricing on athletes is very important and can be beneficial for you at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, I agree. It was something that I had a conversation with my little group about whether you should and shouldn't do it. But for me, it's something I've always done since the start because, some of the big guys chatting to Johnny and Gunnar and things like that, they were like, just go speak to people. You never know. They can what's the worst they can do is say no, you know. But I did like Roro's comment of buy high and sell low. Let's go. that's
That's a
probably my season to be. But apparently, yeah, McIntyre is out for the season. Has fractured his ankle apparently, so that's not so good because I do have his epic, I believe. So that's not good to hear. And we had another saying, any do not play players who can start this game. That's a bit of a taffy, that one.
is who can or can't
Who
start.
can start. Obviously thinking of those caps, tourneys, I'm
Oh,
assuming.
and
maybe
yes,
maybe
I'm
chucking
with you.
somebody in
Maybe
who isn't playing that you
maybe
can.
maybe Palacios. I'm not sure what his cap is at the moment, but potentially he could be ready to if not come back in the starting lineup, but potentially make a little cameo appearance. That's one I can think off head. I know Tyler Roberts has been playing. He will have a little cap score, but he's been playing and starting now regularly for Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another exciting. And even though he hasn't scored in the last 2 games, he's got some nice orange scores. And for a forward, that's decent with no goal contributions. So those are a couple I can think of hand. Claudia Petrilla. Claudia Petrilla is another one from Rapid, from Romania. I'm holding his Genesis Mythic. I've got him somewhere in, and I'm sure he's ready to come back. He has had a couple of cameo appearances after his injury, so potentially getting his first start this game week 152. And since his loan move or his move over to Rapid from CFR before his injury, he was scoring massive green score. So another one to look at.
Yeah. And Bobby said Garrity is back was back midweek as well.
Thank you, Bobby. I didn't pick that up, but I would have had a little look because I'm holding his epic as well, and I've been wanting to put him in because I think he scores very, very well. So good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. Lots of people saying Patrilla is a shout. So yeah, all good. Right, guys. Well, it's just a nice, quick, short one today. We're in, we're out, we're giving you the tips, the tricks, everything you need for the game week. I hope you enjoyed it. A few people were just popping in with their guesses, so I'll give you a few more seconds. We'll give you a few more seconds, won't we, Speedy? Let them go on. Let's chat about Arsenal and Newcastle. What do you think the score's going to be while we're giving them a few more seconds?
Arsenal, Newcastle. I think we'll take it. I'm quietly confident about it. Potentially, like I said, it can go either way. It can be a free flowing game and be a high scoring match, or we know Arsenal is very, very good defensively, and it could even be a game where it's a 1-0 or a 2-0 at the end of the day. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the weekend. But as an Arsenal supporter, I hope we can continue that momentum in the English Premiership and to have, no matter who wins at the end of the season, to have a 3-horse race right until the end, I think will be fascinating and exciting for everyone involved.
I think it's going to be 2-1, but I don't know what direction. I hope it's in Arsenal direction.
For an Arsenal supporter, you do that every week. But continue, because since you've been doing that, we've been winning. So continue.
Has As any clue on the new club this week, Speedy?
The new club, it will definitely look. There's going to be something dropping a little later today. It's not the new club, guys. It's not the new club, but it's something that will be dropping a little later. The new club is potentially in the timeline. Will definitely, let me not say definitely, potentially be next week. I had mentioned it before. It is a English club, and that is the closest I can say. And I know I mentioned this quite a while, and it has taken a little while. But remember, to everyone, we need to get assets from the club. Once we have the assets, we need to check them. We need to make sure everything is perfect. Sometimes there's back and forth between the clubs. Then we send it off to get published and minted and things like that. And then obviously we can publish it in the game. So even though we've got the contract signed and sealed, those couple of things need to happen, which sometimes unfortunately takes a little time. But it's coming. It's coming. I promise you.
There you go. You heard it here first. It won't be long now. And Thinker said that he thinks this is the best part. I was wondering if you guys would like it if myself and Speedy kind of put out into the Discord maybe a couple of days beforehand for any questions, and then we could kind of maybe add them to this bit, because I was just something I kind of thought about last week, because I've enjoyed this kind of, this bit of chat. So it'd be nice to kind of maybe do something along those sorts of lines. Maybe we can check something in the Discord, throw something out a few days earlier. So if you guys have anything that you want to ask about, then it'll be there. Obviously, bearing in mind Speedy can only answer so much. There are some things that he won't be able to give you. So don't be asking for all the secrets of the trade. But before we do wrap up, I'll finish with Roro, because he's given us a bit of advice, and we love some community advice. This is some advice on Leather Guys. There are players that had great score average, Palacios, top sober, etc., but they are top of the table, unbeaten and in great form. So there you are.
They are on fire. They've extended their lead due to Bayern's fall against Bochum last game week, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, very exciting times for them.
No guarantees that these players will walk back into the team, he's saying.
No, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. They've got a strong squad, and they gelling. So it's always good to have some cover if you're not sure about any of them.
Yeah, Agreed. I've done the old sub trick on Palacios this week, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully he does. Out of all of them, hopefully he is the one that just walks straight back in. So yeah, Roro, if you could have a word, that'd be great. So, all right then, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I know we've got a few new subs, so welcome to the Nim fam. Really appreciate it. And don't forget to tune in the same time next week, because there will be a chance to win a pack of some kind. Often something else happens. You never know. Something else sometimes gets chucked in. So join in. You never know what's going to happen on the stream, but there will always be a chance to win a little something. And yeah, we'll see if we can figure out some sort of kind of pre-question thing for you guys. That doesn't mean you can't ask questions in the stream. Of course you can, but yeah, you might think something a little bit beforehand that you'd like to ask as well. So, and for anyone who missed the question, because I can see some people are asking again, then you can check it out earlier in the video. And if you're very quick, I'm going to leave a few minutes just on the ending soon if you want to chuck it in the chat now for your guess. Okay then, guys, we will catch you later. Bye from me and bye from Speedy.
Bye, guys. All the best for Gameweek 152, and thanks for supporting.
Lots of luck.
Feels like I'm caught up in a trance. Can come down all night. The city never stood a chance. With you by my side, it's all ours. So don't second guess. Let down your guard. Just take a chance. I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night and stay in this street for Can we turn back the night and stay in this street for Can we turn back the night? Same old places come alive. Wherever we are, feels like I'm seeing with new eyes. Even in the dark, let's go get lost. Just take my hand, ignore the cost. Forget the plan, I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn it all around, but in my mind we're frozen perfectly in time. Can we turn back the night and stay in this street for Can we turn back the night and stay in this street for Can we turn back the night? Feels like I'm caught up in a trance. Can come down all night. The city never stood a chance. With you by my side, it's all ours. So don't second guess. Let down your guard. Just take a chance. I feel the hours ticking down. Wish I could turn